It lies unseen. This is another horror game. Yeah, I've been looking for horror games to do because it is the spooky season. And I was very glad to see this one. This is another contender for the JamSepticEye Game Jam, sponsored by JamSepticEye, of course, and the developer Ducky Dev. I don't really know the developers on Itch.io too well. I haven't managed to learn my way around that side of things, but I gather this is probably quite a significant developer in the scene. I don't know. Anyway, having a look at the start page here, you can see that this is clearly aimed at JamSepticEye and I suppose other streamers as well, because for one thing, it has this little box in the corner that says put Irish face here. So if you are a streamer and you want to stick your face up on the page while you're playing, top left corner is apparently a safe zone. Guarantee from the developers that they're not going to put anything significant there. That is not the only JamSepticEye themed element of the game that I am aware of, but we'll have a look at that later. First of all, we've got some credits down on the left here. We have an options page which has graphics quality resolution. I'm on the Itch.io full screen, but it seems to recognize that. And a master volume control, so we don't have separate music / volume sliders, but I don't think there is too much music during the playing. And this is a particularly good game, and we will have a look at that in a moment and kind of see what we can glean about the storyline. So it lies unseen. Let's click the start game and we'll jump in and have a look at what the game offers us, and then talk about some critique afterwards as we do. So dramatic chord for start game, and here we are, and I believe we are supposed to be JamSepticEye. I don't know, is that really what he looks like? I mean, I think that's his green hoodie. I don't know if that's actually supposed to be someone else. I don't know. Someone with some serious facial hair. I think Jack has got that hair on his face or otherwise. I don't know. If that is somebody that I'm supposed to recognize, and I do not, many apologies. I am ignorant sometimes. But this is game. It's very good looking. There's obviously good use of lighting here, although the lighting of my character doesn't seem to change as maybe it does get a bit brighter. As I run along, funny little running animation, not too associated with movement. And yeah, so it's was D to move, and we look wherever the cursor is. And then E to interact with doors and things like that. So we have entered into this location, and it is clearly very, very spooky to start off with. And we can run around, but we can't see a goddamn thing because it's too dark. But we can see this door lit by red lighting. The red is of course scary in horror games, but red is also the most efficient kind of light to generate, which is why it's often used for emergency situations. Emergency lighting that runs off a battery is often red because that will help it last as long as possible and still provide light in our visible range. That's why emergency lights are red, if you didn't know that. Now you do. So we look inside here, and we have entered this area, and there's a flashy thing over there in the corner. It did say that this is better played on the download client, but I am playing it in the browser, and it's tested it on Firefox and now on Chrome, and it has worked absolutely fine on those two. So if you have a relatively decent machine, this seems to be fine. I am on Linux, so your performance might vary on Windows, I'm not sure, but yeah, Firefox and Chrome work fine. E to pick up the camera, and then Q to use the camera. No, Q is the logs. F to use the camera, which gives us a light and a camera view, and that is quite important, as we will see momentarily. We can also trundle over here to turn the power back on, but we are going to keep the camera out because it is quite important for us. Notice how the water is that water? Or is that just a big pipe? Big red pipe. Red's scary, folks. It's the scariest color. Through the door. And now we see the power of the camera, because here on the main view there is just a dead person and a log file, but on the camera we can see a ghost floating above the dead person, pointing at the log file. So we get pretty close. He is continually pointing down there, and we can use the log file and pick it up, audio log. And then if we press Q, we can then run the log file and it will talk to us. This is all voice acted, so bravo devs for that.
Dr. Steiner's log number 1. I think I've finally done it. All of the properties of the fifth dimension are crystal clear to me. Witten, Maldacena, and Vafa have confirmed that the theory is sound and the math checks out. Better yet, they've agreed to join me in developing the lens. We should have funding secured by the end of the week, and the facility is already reserved. Soon, we shall be capable of seeing directly into the fifth dimension. If this doesn't secure me a Nobel Prize, I don't know what will. End log.
Right, so we have researchers who are seeing into the fifth dimension, and this is clearly not leading into a terrible chain of events that then causes horrible disaster and death. This must just be a coincidence, an outlier. Right. So now we have something interesting, because we have this character who is kind of creepy and staring at a patch on the wall. And if we get close-ish to him, we can see that his face is all freaky. Whoops. Can't get too close because then he attacks us. So there's something like an eye on his face. So we can back off, but unfortunately the moment we stop looking at him... well, he did last... yeah, you see he starts to move. It's a little bit of Weeping Angel style trouble leading our way. But here is a door that we can open. He seems to be stuck on the wall, so that's fine. We meet more of him later. And now we have big globs of weird stuff. And then something else that we can only see on the camera is these tentacular monsters. But so we can't go that way, even though it looks empty, because it will damage us. But there is no tentacular monster here. And we have this stuff and the weird slop 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 noises. So we can avoid that guy. There's another tentacular monster here somewhere. There he is there. Hello, boyo. Yeah, nice little monster design. Fairly creepy, fairly scary. Oh, and we have another log. I don't think I missed one, despite the numbering.
Dr. Steiner's log number 23. We did it. We actually did it. Vafa powered up the dimensional lens. Immediately we could see things that simply weren't there. Or rather, that are there. Our feeble human faculties simply can't perceive them. The implications are staggering. This discovery will be greater than any other in history. Newton, Einstein, Schrodinger, they will all be footnotes compared to what I have accomplished here today. Colleagues, if you ever go back and listen through these logs, just know that I thank you. Thank you for joining with me in the endeavor of a lifetime. Here, at the end, I can rest proudly due to my achievement. End log.
Alright, so that is clearly where it's where the issues are beginning, because even though they've done it and they've looked into the fifth dimension, they are not happy with that, and they're going to keep going. So let us hop through this door, and we can see this giant blob, and on the camera we can see it has many eyes. And we can step forward, pick up the audio log, and I think, well, this room seems to be fairly neutral for us at the moment, so let's see what log 49 has to say.
Steiner's log number 49. I've been contacted by a presence from the other side. Witten left the room and I heard something. I think it was in my head, but now I'm not so sure. Have you ever dreamed that you were face to face with something infinite? Your existence a mere grain of sand in an endless sea? my language. How could that possibly be? Whatever it is, it promised me a way that I could transfer my consciousness into something else. The process is complicated, to say the least, but the presence has also promised to help me. It has given me the schematics for a device that won't just peer into the fifth dimension. It will shear the veil in between dimensions so that we can physically travel there. I thought this was going to be my end, but it looks like this is just the beginning. End log.
Well, we have some interesting information there. We realize why this has turned into a disaster. Clearly, they opened the door as guided by this strange presence, and things have gone horribly wrong. Stuff has come through the other way, and obviously we tested out just the death process. If you get too close to the large gluttonous mass, it does damage to you and is pretty much an instant kill, whereas the other guys are somewhat less immediately fatal, but still fatal. So let's avoid this dude, and we can pop through here, and I think this is probably where we're going to end the gameplay section. I will leave it to you guys to deal with this. So we have another log here, where I think he's starting to despair. We have more invisible tentacle creatures, and then we have I suppose a corrupted scientist who is ready to attack us if we get too close and then look away from him. And that's it. That is all of the gameplay I'm going to show you. Let's have a quick look at the itch.io page. There's a limited amount of information here. We have gone into an abandoned facility, we're looking for answers, and we're seeing all the things. So there's not too much storyline behind it, other than the fact that we are apparently a nosy person digging in. I don't know if it unlocks more information about us later, but maybe it does. We shall see. So yeah, if you are just here for the gameplay, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, or any of the above in any particular order you want. Just because that boosts engagement for me, it's because it tells YouTube that you like my videos, and it boosts engagement for you, so it tells YouTube that you like the videos and to show you more videos like this. So mutually beneficial. Yeah, please just engage. Also, and more importantly, I think I'd like to hear from you guys. So leave me some comments. Let me know what's happening. Yeah, maybe tell me what you want to see. All of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so if you're just here for the gameplay, link will be in the description. Come and play the game. Come and figure out the rest of the storyline by yourself. The developer is Packer, and the game is called It Lies Unseen. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. If you are here for the critique, well, let us begin with the UI. Is there a way to get... Yes, there is. Alright. So, pressing escape. Well, always an unsettling choice for itch.io for the browser, because it escapes you out of full screen, and then, you're having to do all this stuff in the smaller screen. But it's easy enough to jump back into full screen. We have the keys on the page, which is nice. Oh, there is in fact a run button. And we have access to the options to change some volume controls and all of that kind of stuff. What does quit do? Oh, actually, this is a rare thing where the quit takes us back to the main menu, but unfortunately it doesn't clear the pick up audio log button. Okay, and the quit from the main menu just does nothing because this is a browser game and it doesn't need a quit button there. So let's reload that and we can think about it. So yeah, a Unity game. So UI, I think I'm gonna give them full points for that. I do like to see a separated music volume control and game sounds volume control. I don't think the game had that many sounds, so not too serious there. Yeah, well, moving on from the UI then, so we'll give the UI like 95%. The sounds, as we were talking about, I'd like a little more kind of abandoned facility background sounds. I know background sounds sometimes clash with the music, but I think for a game like this, for a horror game, you kind of want more more background sounds really than music. The music should be something subtle in the background, and then the background sounds should really set the atmosphere. That's my opinion on that. Obviously, it's not too important, and background sounds are harder to do. Adds complexity and dev time and things to the game, especially for a game jam game. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I think this is fine. I would just prefer more facility sounds, more sounds from the main character. Which brings us onto the art a little bit. I mean, the art is a little bit goofy. There's some in jokes and references there because this is JamSepticEye sort of pushed initiative that has caused this game to exist. So yeah, obviously there's some acknowledgement there. Takes away from the horror a little bit, but I don't think it's supposed to be that serious a horror game. Having said that, there's some good parts in it. There's a good jump scare where that giant creature goes along the wall. There's a fairly good, I suppose, dangling on the edge of cosmic horror storyline sitting there of what's actually gone wrong. And I think the game represents it that well. So yeah, again, really good marks for the artwork. Obviously, I'm not part of the Game Jam judging crew, so I'm just talking about from my perspective, from my opinion. But I hope it does well in the Game Jam, and I suspect it will. I think the submissions have ended today, and there's like now a voting process going on. Actually, the submissions might have. Yeah, I think they ended today. Either way, it's ended. There's now voting going on, so if you can join the Game Jam, or if you're members or whatever, come give this game a look. Give it some votes. I guess that would be my recommendation because I think it's a good one, and I like it a lot. I'd like to see it worked on and maybe even expanded a bit after the Game Jam. I'm always hoping that from all of these games that I do, because I do games that I like and I want to see them grow. Yeah, in terms of critique, talking about the game feeling, I found it pretty good, pretty spooky. Good jump scare, good kind of environmental context scare. A little goofy, as I was saying, but still entirely acceptable and a fun experience to play through. And I do recommend everybody comes and continues the experience and get through to the end. Just because, why not? Isn't that what games are for? Sort of a slight comment on the immersion element. I'd like to know who we are and why we are stepping into this space. Why are we investigating this facility? Are we just a YouTuber or similar who's come along to do a live stream of us exploring an abandoned warehouse? I mean, that's usually the storyline behind this. Then why is the camera already in the facility? What's going on there? What is our story? I do like it when there's lore and a story because it gives the player something to rally behind, flag to follow, and that kind of thing builds immersion, and immersion builds how much people enjoy games. That's why I'm always pushing that kind of thing, pushing the immersion elements, like a good story, like some lore. This game has quite a bit of lore that you are unpacking in terms of what the scientists are doing, but not in terms of what we're doing as the person stepping into there. And that's it for now. I think this is a good game. Come and play it. And that's all the critique I'm going to give. And thank you very much for watching. And I really hope to see you in the next video. And I will give you a sad goodbye as we leave. Goodbye.